Star 7 Plus. I'm Natalie Chuck here with Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski and our very own wealth of knowledge, our in-house political expert tonight, Alton Dillard. Tony, just got another dump of these election results tonight, so take it away.
Well, we're hearing the Associated Press has called the races LL and MM. Not a surprise here. According to the latest numbers, 64% in favor of LL statewide, and MM is at 57%, so not close, and they're showing 1.17 million votes counted in both. Remember, when we talked earlier at 4:30, there were 1.2 million statewide. Obviously, more have come in, but that's a vast majority. Really no surprise there. It started out strong. There was some question if both would pass, but clearly the people of Colorado have said, we like the idea of providing these meals and not having to, for most of the people, pay any more money.
Yeah. And Alton, as you've said earlier, these are kind of those early trickling in votes. People who got their ballots in earlier than today, most likely. But it looks like this has gotten overwhelming support. What do you project will happen as we continue seeing these dumps come through tonight?
Well, when it comes to the two statewide issues, I expect to see the margins continue to spread. So if the races have been called, you know, it's going to be, we're able to provide healthy food for students regardless of their socioeconomics, and then we start looking ahead to what's coming down the road in 2026, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Taking a look at another close race in our metro area, I think that one big switch up from when we looked at that initial dump is this at-large race out in Aurora for City Council. We've kind of been speaking throughout the night. Danielle Durinsky, that incumbent, now coming up in third place right now for this at-large election. She was taking the lead earlier on in the evening, but again, this is still a really close race. Just your initial thoughts seeing that.
Well, like we always talk about, you know, those were early results, and the earlies are usually the 65 and ups, and you can't necessarily tie age to political ideology, but as Tony has mentioned, you usually start seeing the more progressive voters turning out, you know, a little bit later on in the process. And so one thing we're keeping an eye on with Aurora is they appear to be reporting on a slightly more frequent interval than some of the other cities and counties may be. So that one definitely bears watching.
Yeah, and Tony, give a little bit of perspective because you've been covering this area for so long. Danielle Durinsky potentially being out, depending on how we see these results shake out. What does that mean?
Well, she's been a lightning rod, very polarizing. You either love her or you don't love her, but everybody knows her name. She was one of the first, if not the first, to come out and talk about TDA and its activity in Aurora. That was debated on what level, but she said it was there. The gang was active. DEA came out with a press release. It made headlines. The president was here and talked about it while he was campaigning before he won, and so yeah, she is well known. I don't count her out because of she's a very strong and savvy politician, but yeah, right now she is going to have to rally to get back in that, and we're going to watch that. Another person who on the other side of that is very happy right now is Denver's mayor. Yeah. All five of the bond issues are passing significantly in Denver, with the most recent numbers coming in, and that is very telling. We had heard, and Alton jump in here too, that maybe Denver voters were going to be okay with 3 of the 5, but maybe not all 5. All 5 are carrying pretty significantly right now.
Yeah, one of the
Denver.
And one of the running jokes about Denver is Denver's really never met a tax or a bond that it doesn't like. Because one of the things that has happened with the bond process, and it's not a total analogy here, but bonds, from what I remember, used to be almost like a census. They'd hit about every 10 years. But if you start looking at the ballots over the past, say, decade or so, now you start seeing a bond every 4 years or every 8 years, and it seems like the increment is shrinking a bit. But, you know, again, it comes down to, especially on the vibrant Denver bonds, it's infrastructure across the board. Denver is a growing city. Denver is a rapidly getting younger city by the day. So it is time to start thinking about what the future of our city looks like. And I think that that campaign made a really good case for why it was important to shore up all of the infrastructure.
I was going to say, given your background and your expertise, what do you think it was about the Vibrant Denver campaign that worked? I mean, in my neighborhood, there were signs everywhere. Despite how confused some people might have been reading through each measure, it's still obviously got a lot of traction.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you saw there is, like we talked about in the last segment, they got the language down out of the ivory tower a little bit. They talked about roads. They talked about libraries. They talked about rec centers. They talked about co-locating libraries with affordable housing. All issues that really, I think, resonate with Denver voters.
And right now, voters saying they got the message. But Alton, how much of this vote is a vote of confidence in the mayor and his future? And how much can he say, okay, the people are supporting my vision, now I want to take that next step?
You know what? I think it is a pretty good, referendum on how he's doing, with the one caveat that some of the concerns that came out about some of the mixed messaging or some of the misspeaking or some of the other issues that caused maybe a bit of a credibility gap. Remember, those started happening after ballots had already been out almost 2 weeks. And so one of the things we talk about in the Colorado election model is how what we used to call the October surprise has pretty much gone away. Because if you drop something negative or whatever the case, or something negative happens, if half the people have already voted, it's not the same effect as in the old days when if you had something on your opponent, you would drop it on that Sunday or Monday heading into the Tuesday of election day. So I think that, it shows that he's on a pretty good track, but also as far as the mayor goes, let's keep an eye out on this tail end of the budget process, because now he gets to chime in on the city council amendments.
And I want to piggyback on that question, because we talked about voter turnout, and the mayor didn't win asking for increases in November of 2024 presidential election, far greater turnout. We're guessing right now, maybe a 30% turnout in Denver. You have lots of experience in the clerk and recorder's office historically. How much do you think this low voter turnout helped the mayor to get these 5 bonds passed?
Yeah, because one of the things that it helped in this type of election, it was pretty much the marquee issue. Because if you try to run something like this in a gubernatorial election or a presidential election, you may be on the 3rd page of the ballot by the time you get around to getting to where the local issues are even located. And so I think it was probably a pretty brilliant strategy.
Yeah, and one thing we want to leave people with, you were speaking with us earlier about just how important it is to get out and vote, even during these elections that might not on paper seem quite as big. Not a presidential election, but you said you were happy to see some people out of the ballot boxes this morning. And just, again, leave people with a reminder of why it's so important to get out every year.
Well, why it's so important to get out every year is, one, people fought and died for the right, and B, again, you have to localize your political participation. Again, it just baffles me why someone would not want to chime in on municipal infrastructure, not want to chime in on city council races in some of the surrounding areas, not want to chime in on school board. And again, we have to, and I'm going to quote my former boss, Clerk Lopez, on this, we have to start creating a culture of participation. Voting should be muscle memory. You shouldn't even have to think. You should look up in December, oh yeah, I voted, I don't remember doing it.
Right. Tony.
Well, as we start backing away now and reflecting on what's happened today, right? Storylines, the voter turnout, decent for a non-election year, certainly not great. More people decided to stay at home or not open up that envelope and cast the ballot.
Right.
But yet you got a message about school meals. You got a message about making Denver a stronger, more vibrant community, the headline. What other storylines are you leaving this election day with?
You know, another storyline that I'm sort of leaving it with is looking ahead to 2026 when the partisan elections start firing up, because as we've talked about, because of the Republican Party's struggle to get a statewide foothold, they are starting to look at these down ballot offices as a place to be able to maybe make a bit of a stand.
Build a bench.
Yes, and so I want to see, as far as either building a bench, or even if you're not able to get the ideology, whatever it is, articulated at the state level, there's still going to be these areas where this fight takes place sort of in the trenches. So it's going to be one of those things, and I always like to remind people, these results are not official until almost Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving week is when the election is going to be certified, and then it's going to be Katie bar the door heading into the June primary, because right now, this is not a partisan comment, this is a pure numerical fact, is that whoever wins these June statewide primaries wins the seat. That's the long and short of it. So as soon as the noise from this November election calms down and maybe people get a little bit of holidays to not politic, as soon as we get over the hump into 2026, it is going to be a dead 5-6 month sprint.
Building on what you've said, Colorado has not elected a Republican governor since 2004 in Bill Owens. And looking ahead to next year, yeah, you talking about a heavyweight fight. I mean, we've got a sitting state senator, U.S. senator, against the attorney general. Some experts I've talked to said it's going to be an $8 million war, each raising about $4 million just for that race. And both of them have histories of success in statewide races in Colorado. Tough to call.
It is going to be tough to call. So one thing to look at as we head towards 2026, let's look to see what these candidates do to be able to slide that piece of paper between their positions. Remember, these are Democrats running against Democrats. You know, in these primaries. And so what kind of daylight are they going to be able to create? And then, of course, the always burning question you have in a primary is, who's going to be the first to go negative in trying to create that deadline, that daylight, especially when you're talking about, again, keeping it at the gubernatorial level, two respected members of the Democratic Party who both have their tenure and they've both done great things for the state. So how do they create the differentiation amongst themselves? You want to keep an eye on that all the way down the statewide office ballot, including treasurer, secretary of state, and attorney general.
Yeah, and we do have some updated numbers for Denver Public School Board that we want you guys to all take a look at. You can see Amy Klein-Molk there. Looks like she's taking home that seat pretty close, though. A lot of these board positions really close tonight, Alton. What do you make of that when it comes to Denver voters and what direction they are leaning when it comes to this Denver School Board election?
Well, I'm looking at a couple of things. One, the at-large race, because there's a pretty big spends going on in that one. And it looks like, especially in the at-large race, you know, if these numbers hold up, this may have been more of a matter of who put the boots on the groundwork in this particular situation. But that's what I always tell people, it's not always about the ads, it's not always about the endorsements. In the District 2 race, you've got an incumbent who appears to be, you know, holding their lead so far. And so what dynamic this is going to create, because if you trickle down here into School Board 3, you've got an incumbent who is trailing badly in this race, and then if you pop over to 4, you've got another incumbent trailing. So as opposed to the last coordinated election where there was this total wave of anti-incumbency, this is like semi-anti-incumbency, so perhaps this will change the tone and tenor down at the school administrative building, and maybe we can get back to some core missions like setting the policies of the district to help get Denver school kids educated.
And you talk about a Denver at-large school board seat. That's often a springboard to other political offices, because you're sending a message that you can bring in a large number of votes. And so that seat also is important at the board, but then it creates potential opportunities for that winner moving forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we want to stay up to date with those other propositions and measures going on all across the state and here locally. Proposition LL, again, wanting to get you one last look at those numbers. Overwhelming majority of people saying, yes, we want to get those kids their meals in schools, you guys, and same with Proposition MM. And again, we talked about this increase in tax for people who those household incomes are more than $300,000. You know, I think it's safe to say the vast majority of people are maybe not seeing that as their household income. So again, just a little bit of analysis for us about what that says about the people who went out to the polls today.
Well, it says two things. One, the import of that, and then going back to LL briefly, again, that was because of the state constitution. One thing that voters did when it came to Tabor was they embedded it in the Constitution. Once something's in the Constitution, you pretty much have to dynamite it out of there, and that's why Tabor remains the law of the land. So part of Tabor is anytime you have excess tax revenue, you have to go back to the voters to say, may we retain this? Had that question failed, then the affected voters in those 300K plus households would have been refunded.
Right.
And the Associated Press calling both LL and MM earlier tonight, so those are wrapped up. We have that understanding now, and what are we, a little before 9 o'clock right now.
Right.
So it's been a clear message from the people of Colorado, and we talked earlier about how they chose the wording, how they put the graph in the ballot when you went through it. It made it, I think, really easy for people to understand, and they responded by, in large numbers, saying yes on both.
Yeah, one of the things, here's a bit of an analogy that you'll notice with actual ballots and ballot envelopes and design. We are becoming a more visual society. So are we going to be more apt to read through 4 paragraphs of legalese? Or look at a chart that shows who benefits?
A chart, right? I mean, speaking for my generation, I know we are visual learners, and we would like to see a chart out there. Yeah. So we know another dump will be coming out of these election results at 10 o'clock tonight. Of course, you can trust Denver 7 to keep you updated on streaming, online, on air, any way you get your news. We'll be keeping you posted. Any final thoughts from either of you?
An exciting night.
Yeah.
I think watching the voting process, watching democracy work, even though we're talking about a turnout of about 30%, that's still a large number of people that said, you know what, I want people to understand my position. And that's what it's all about. And we're about to enter a very interesting year, as you talked about, in Colorado, probably one of the most contentious political years we've seen in a long time. So I think a great day for Colorado, and buckle up, it's going to be an interesting year.
And the other thing that's going on is votes get counted until they're all counted. So even though these races, you know, some of them are quote unquote called, every single vote gets counted, and that's why it's so important that people participate. So again, I'm not a prognosticator, but I'm thinking that by the time all is said and done, these turnout numbers, both at the Denver level and statewide, will probably creep up pretty close to where they were in 2021.
Alton Dillard, appreciate your expertise. You made us all smarter. Natalie
Yes.
Chuck, as always, a
Good to see
tremendous evening. You will be joining the crew at 10 o'clock on Denver 7. We have full analysis at denver7.com throughout the evening, and then inviting you to tune in at 10 o'clock for our coverage. We'll take you live to the different watch stations. I'm sure you'll be hearing from the mayor on a big night for him in Denver. So a lot happening, a lot to happen as we move forward the next hour and a half. And we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next election cycle.